Okay, welcome. We have today the editor-in-chief and founder of Kinsman Quarterly, Monique Franz, a distinguished Wilkes alum, and this new enterprise that she started is gaining a lot of attention and traction. Monique, welcome.
Hi. I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to greet all the students who are making this important step in their dreams and in their futures.
That's great. Tell us how this came about, Monique. What was this enterprise? How was it started?
Well, I graduated from Wilkes, I believe it is in 2021. And when I started to submit a lot of my material, I had material that was specific to me as an African American woman. And then I had mainstream material that wasn't specific to my culture at all. I received, I made the long list or the finals or won something on everything that did not identify me as a Black woman. This actually upset me because on the entry level of publication, you need those awards, you need those contest wins to support you to get a publishing deal. And I was noticing that anything that was true to my story as a Black woman was not being received. So, noticing that gap, that on the entry level of publication, journals, awards, these things that support you in being published, my most authentic voice was not being recognized. So I humbly thought, hey, let me have a small journal, Kinsman Quarterly, to support myself and other Wilkes alumni. This is very much Wilkes alumni centered when it began. Let's support one another in getting those original publications. We'll hold a contest, to support other people who would want to come along. Well, it was right at the tail of the pandemic, right at the start of all the racial issues that came about in 2020. And what we found is it just took off beyond anything that we thought was going to happen because BIPOC voices, Black, Indigenous, and people in color were wanting their voices to be heard and legitimized as well. So we took off and suddenly we had hundreds of submissions. Now we're 3,000 submissions in after 2 years. We have published 177 BIPOC authors because that demand was there. People wanted to be heard and they wanted leadership that understood what they were experiencing. So without trying too hard, we just took off. And so, with that, one thing I was noticing, and our review team was noticing, that there did seem to be a bit of a gap in terms of what our BIPOC authors were producing in comparison to a lot of our white authors were submitting. And we attributed that to just there being academic gaps in education, there being economic gaps. And so we developed a very aggressive equipping program to support BIPOC authors in their craft with writing courses being free and low cost, and also in our internship program to give them the type of industry related experience that would support them being among leadership in publishing companies and in literary organizations. So the Kinsman internship program was a part of that, where the participants that participate in this program, they leave with a letter of recommendation. They actually have a time frame as well, because oftentimes our voices are exploited instead of celebrated. So there is a time frame in which you're able to serve to kind of give that cap for you. But for a Wilkes, it's going to be 15 weeks because you are getting a credit as well. So there was that in place to make sure that we honor those voices in a set amount of time, to honor that service to our nonprofit in a set amount of time. And also they leave with a letter of recommendation and also a a professional certificate from Kinsman Quarterly saying this is how they served and contributed to our nonprofit.
Wow. That's just an amazing story, Monique. I think of the time that you were, coming to terms with this. And I often think, to have that urgency, not just a literary mission, but a personal, psychological, cultural, political mission is incredible. I mean, you moved out of, the Black Lives Matter to say Black Voices Matter.
Yes, yes.
And so tell me a little bit about how a student like yourself who, was an alumnus and has been through this, an alumna and has been through this program, what would a Wilkes intern do for Kinsman?
Well, we have a nice team. Our internship program is actually quite attractive. So I think we have like 20 people on our team now. And in order for us to be efficient, we're a young organization. So we're kind of getting our bearing on what works and what is efficient and what is efficient for a team so large who are a great part of them are volunteers. So what we did is we focused their activities. So they're not just kind of, everywhere. We focus their activity on where they feel their interests are in the industry, where they feel their skill set is in the industry, and it also helps us hone in on where our needs are as an organization. So the professionals what we have for Kinsman Quarterly. We have divisions, the editorial, which does a lot of reviewing of the literature and the submissions that come in, as well as supporting the edits that we get for our published titles, which are mostly anthology collections to this point. We have the journalism and content development, which is supporting some of those essay and nonfiction submissions that come in. Also, if we notice that an intern has a great deal of skill in journalism, we will assign them with stories and articles to write for Kinsman Quarterly. We also have production and design. If anyone is familiar with our stuff, we we very much appreciate visual art being paired with literature, and so a lot of our activity is making our books and our media, our marketing promotions being quite attractive. So that one's a great one because you can learn how to operate essential apps like Canva and Adobe Creative Suite, which is essential for book cover design. We also have marketing and publicity. We reach out to HBCUs and other universities and let them know that we're on the scene. We're also supporting these diverse voices from marginalized communities. We touch base with schools and libraries. Right now, Kinsman Quarterly is being distributed to 100 different charter schools in um, among urban students. And you know, any publicity that we can get, that's not one that we get a lot of interns for. We have a lot of needs for that one, but that's the one that you make important connections for. Fundraising, we also have a fundraising section where interns help us to locate grants that we can apply for, to locate book awards that we can submit to. And so that one's a really exciting one. The intern that we have in place now, there's incentives that you get for every grant that we receive. So that one comes with a little extra support. So those are the five different departments that we're in, and we just focus each student focus in on the activities that's involved in that department.
Wow, so comprehensive and incredibly detailed. Really a great program, Monique. Now, the students, this is all virtual, I take it, so
All virtual.
they don't
Yeah,
have to be anywhere.
right, right.
Are there any other restrictions in terms of time? I mean, we have students actually, believe it or not, in Portugal, and we've had students in Alaska. Um, and anything in those regards that would be of concern about place?
Our entire team is all around the world. We have team members from Nigeria, Pakistan, the UK, France now, Australia, and Hong Kong, where I used to live. So our whole team operates on this rotating time schedule. We do have team meetings once a month where we meet if you can. We try to match that time frame where our international team can join. But a lot of what we do is touching base through email and through use of Google Docs and whatnot. I have one of our office assistants, she touches base with the entire team, asks them how they're doing, celebrate their accomplishment and gets updates. And I try to meet with team members at least once every 2 weeks so that they can, feel like they're touching base with leadership and that they're heard and they can bring any concerns to us.
Wow. National, international, global, and yet so focused on a very important mission. I so much appreciate you coming and joining us, Monique, and so look forward to working with you and your great team on Kinsman Quarterly for the Wilkes students. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to working with you all. Just checking that we're all done recording.